I've covered many custom levels on this channel between Forces, Frontiers, Sonic Generations, and Shadow Generations, but few have come close to the same level of polish and attention that Skyward Castle has. I'm not trying to put those other projects down in any way, shape, or form. I think they're always worth playing after finishing the main campaign, but this level, I can personally say, has inspired me. This is the exact kind of stage that I dream of making while I'm still in the process of getting comfortable with modding myself. There are many aspects of what makes this stage an impressive feat. First of all, this stage took me 10 minutes on my first 3 runs. Typically, the length for a quality 3D level hovers between 5 and 7 minutes, but this is basically half an extra level in length. And considering how fast Sonic and Shadow move in these games, you need to cover a lot of ground to ensure that these levels aren't 1 minute long like Forces. To top that off, each mesh of terrain and object placement needs to be purposeful to avoid confusing pathways. And that's not even counting the fact that the dev, Shindash, told me there are around 7 main routes in the stage. 7. And I can speak from experience that these all have unique areas that are more than a minute long that lead you to the convergence point. There are multiple intersecting paths within these routes too, so if you think you've seen it all, you probably haven't. The part that resonates with me the most personally is the decoration. Typically, modders like to focus on the gameplay, usually having asset spam or floating objects, and that isn't inherently bad as long as it's fun, but the main appeal of custom stages to me is feeling like I unlocked brand new content, so when the developer goes the extra mile of making it look real, it makes its way into my permanent mod folder. Cameras are one of the trickiest things to do efficiently when modding boost levels, yet there are a dozen different segments where they're handled professionally. There are multiple scripted segments and gameplay segments to ensure that you can sight read ahead of you while being entertained by the spectacle. And there's a ton of mishmashed assets from both Chaos Island and Kingdom Valley that are strategically placed in every square inch of the map. Seriously, there's stray pillars, torches, mountains, moss, light sources, fog, trees, you name it. I bet a lot of people playing this won't even realize what's reused terrain and what's custom placed. And that's the idea. Decorations immersing you so well that you can't tell this was made by one individual without a budget. What I'm about to show you is nearly every pathway I personally found in my 3 runs of the stage. That does not mean this is everything, and I highly encourage you explore for yourself.
Pikmin Terrarium Collection.
I'm also using the Summer Shadow skin. If you watched my Sonic Generations Summer skin video, you will recognize both of these outfits for Shadow and Rouge. These are directly out of Sonic Speed Simulator in Roblox, and they have been ported by the exact same person that did the Sonic Generations mod, and it's really nice to have both of them here, because one of the nicest aspects of Shadow Generations is that we get to see all of Team Dark again. But let's head off on here into Chaos Island for Skyward Castle. Now, one of the coolest things about this level is that it has a custom song, which is by Sonic Guitars. This is basically the Chaos Island theme from Shadow Generations with guitars in the back. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you. It's amazing. Right off the bat here, we already have 2 intersecting pathways, and I love the way that they utilize the black arms and the 06 mix in this level. I'm going for the bottom path here because I love how the rails look from Chaos Island in Shadow Generations. It's beautiful. And one of the things that people always beg for in custom levels is more squid pathways, so it's really nice to see that back here in this level here. Now, this is immediately going to show the other pathway, because that's how I edited this video. I wanted to show exactly where all of these converging points happen. There are some minor pathways I skip over, again, it's not everything, but over here you can see the way that they use the terrain from Chaos Island interjected into the platforming segments. You have the metal platforms, you have the rock platforms. And, you know, there's a lot of the squid pathways, which makes sense why there's so much Chaos Island here. But going into this segment, there's trees, and then there's moss, and there's bricks, because we're in a Kingdom Valley segment, but we still have the soldiers from Frontiers, we have the statues from Frontiers. All the meanwhile, the main enemies are usually the 06 mechs. It's super damn cool. Over here, this erects a completely custom pathway, and that's buggy, so I died. But cutting immediately, here is the intended route. One of the most impressive things about this is how the creator uses these custom triggers with the Chaos Spear, because that is an underused aspect of the game, even in vanilla, in my opinion. Now, going over to the left route, we have more traditional platforming, and I think it's really neat, because in one of my older videos for Sonic Generations, I said, like, I love that people have the idea to utilize existing assets from early parts of levels, because of course, the official assets are going to look the best instead of trying to do your own or using low-resolution textures from an older game, you know what I mean? So, it's pretty swag money that the entire concept of this level tells a story of, like, seeing these two zones collide into each other, like Black Doom's influence made something go wrong in Generations. And look at that, you even had a flying mech in the back there that's gonna come around right off the side. Like, that event, that animated sequence, is completely custom by one person. You could do that if you wanted. That's how advanced dev tools and Blendhog is in this game, and HEIO. All brilliant tools that you should research on your own. If you ever think that you can't make something like this, think again, dude. I've been making stuff like this myself, even. Like, you even have a custom waterfall. You have fog from the waterfall in the sky. Like, there are so many beautiful things about the atmosphere of this level. Like, the fact that this is a camera-locked, almost 2D side-scrolling segment here, man. It's amazing. I love this segment the most, anyway, because I just love the variety of enemies there, dude. Look at the archways. Like, all these tall pillars and ropes and everything from Kingdom Valley, these don't look like assets that were just placed around for the sake of advancing the level. Like, this isn't random geometry. There's a moss on the side of these buildings and everything, dude. It's every part of this is smartly and properly thought about. And of course, you could see in the summer skin, Shadow's got his surfboard instead of the Doomorph. And dude, look at this. This is the camera position from Shadow's warping ability in Shadow 05. That is a custom camera that follows you during the Chaos stream. I don't even know what that's called. Right here again, I try to go for it, but I fall off. But the cool thing about this is that you could physically jump into it, so I saved myself last minute, and I was really proud of that gameplay, so I left it in. Another thing that really impressed me is the control that the creator has over the rails, the way that they twist and turn, because that looks like a really annoying thing to do in Blender, or HEIO, which is also Blender, but yeah. This segment right here has like 5 different possible pathways you can go through, man. It's wild. There was even one that I found around this segment here while I was just playing casually to get a different piece of footage. Yeah. There are like 5 mini routes you could take in this section alone, and this is like 3 minutes into a 10-minute level, dude. Like right here again. Defeat that man's. You go over to the right. There are rings up there which you can get by doing a different route on the rail, but if you go over here to the left, there are balloons. And you find your way over to a twisting and turning segment that kind of reminds you of the Airy Silent platforming segments. it is insane how they're even using, like, the Chaos Island rails combined with the Kingdom Valley terrain. Like, it was always a dream to me when I would see, like, level creator, level editor games as a kid that I could make my own game, but it was never on the scale of anything official in 2D games, because 2D games are, like, way too simple, but here you are messing with the full 360 degrees and, like, every perspective of a 3D game. You get the sophistication of all these 3D models and the art direction of this game in this setting. It's amazing, dude. I love that a random person can make this whole scene here where Shadow wall jumps with its own sound effect, too. Because what happened back in that room is that there were invisible orange rings, dash rings, and there were just sound effect triggers to make it sound and look like Shadow was wall jumping off the walls there. That's what happened. Like, the amount of ingenuity and creativity and problem solving that's required for making this is brilliant. Like, look at that. Boom. You break through it. And the reason that he does that spin is because, again, it's from another dash ring. Also, I need to really put some attention on the fact that those glowing pillars from Chaos Island are poking out the wall. And the fact that that's custom-placed moss as well, dude. These are the bridges from Sonic Frontiers. Those green capsules are from Sonic Frontiers as well. Those aren't in Shadow Generations. That's a weird glitch. I don't know why that happened. But yeah, those green capsules are just straight up ported from Sonic Frontiers. It's not hard to do. You just gotta, like, copy and paste a file. But yeah, this, when I saw it in development, was one of the most impressive things to me, I think, because, like, dude, this is an indoor segment. Like, all custom modeled with existing terrain, borrowed from Sonic Frontiers and Shadow Generations. You even saw, like, a piece of the Kingdom Valley, like, roofing coming out of the wall back there. Like, you had a pointy castle top poking out of the wall of this indoor temple. Insane. And, like, the lighting is amazing, too. You even have Eggman's IKEA lamps. You have the glowstone on the sides of the walls. You have the reflection from the lava. I don't even actually know how you figured out how to place lava like this. It's pretty cool. The depth trigger has to be custom, though, I think. I got a little impatient here, and I decided to break the rules of 3D games a little bit. Is what it is. And again, more custom squid physics, dude. Like, you're just swinging around like Spider-Man. This is everybody's favorite mechanic that got underdeveloped for the game because of how late it was introduced. I am just such a big fan of how the camera follows Shadow here. Like, it's probably a lot easier when you are editing something completely original instead of, like, editing an existing level, but I've struggled so much trying to get cameras to work in my personal time, man. Again, this is the same exact area. This whole segment is probably only like 20 seconds if you're going fast. But, like, here I am showing multiple different pathways like it's nothing. And right here, there's a tunnel that kind of mimics the weird, like, black arms goop tunnels that you would take in Shadow 05, but it's utilizing a very similar mechanic from Shadow Gens with the Chaos Warping. And that was a custom modeled tunnel and everything, specifically for that interaction. Like, the immersion is amazing. Like, one person, by the way, one person, making this feel like an official sequel to Shadow 05, and making it feel canon the way that it's this mishmash of two existing zones, because the Time Eater is the reason that Generations happened, but Black Doom is the reason that Shadow Gens happened, and it was like a weird, kind of messed up version of the Time Eater's powers. So it's really neat, man. Like, I don't even know. Like, this temple was present in Shadow Gens, but it was only, like, in the 2D version of Act 2 or whatever, so you didn't really get to explore the spacious inside of the temple too much, and here we're kind of correcting that. And here you are making use of the falling platforms too while you wait for the other ones to come down. How amazing is that, dude? You got these intersecting pathways that only the brave will boost through. You got this spinning spike thing that only the brave will jump over. I didn't want to do it because, man, it is a long run. And one of my favorite returning mechanics from Shadow Gens is how you could boost into enemies to kill them, because for some reason that was not in Sonic Frontiers. So it's amazing that you have them along this twisting, turning pathway with that fixed camera perspective to make you feel like it's the original Sonic gens. And dude, you got the Death Egg robot's broken arm in the side of the temple here underground. The aura, dude, the aura in the art direction is amazing. I don't even know how they came up with this. And the fact that every individual one of those platforms was moving up and down as well. Like, this is so impressive, dude. The way that it utilizes Shadow-specific diagonal sidestepping, as opposed to Sonic, who has a lot more control. Like, it's genius. You can tell this was made by somebody that plays this game constantly. Man, Shadow's skating actually looked very fluid there. But yeah, like, and it's so cool using the spinners in that segment too, where you can boost into the enemies, because if they're electrocuted, then you can't actually hit them. You will get hit. And because I didn't take a shortcut this time, here I am in another slow platforming segment. It happens. From time to time, it happens. I do like that you kind of get punished for certain routes, because some of them are several minutes longer in some cases. If there's one thing that I wish level developers would use, it's more of like the sloping upwards and downward path, because it feels really good with Shadow's boosting physics. I remember here, I was just messing around with the environmental details because I was impressed that there was random crates there, and I discovered another brand new pathway that happens to be way faster. Like I was just saying, if you don't explore, you're gonna usually end up on the slower pathway. And that's how it's supposed to be. And dude, I'm so impressed by the fact that there are giant chasms up and down that you can shoot into and out of. And right here in this scripted segment, there is a unique mechanic where you have to dodge the volcano. This wasn't in Shadow Generations Chaos Island. It was just a cutscene in that game. You actually have to move left, right, and into the middle for that one. Like, that would blow the mind of anybody that has not even a little bit looked under the hood at how the modding for this game works. I also kind of adore how the level design philosophy of this also loves utilizing ramps for Shadow's boosting, because that was something they were kind of figuring out with Final Horizon and did very sparingly in this game. But like right here, like they just love embracing the fact that you can shoot off of ramps. And right here, there is more utilization of sliding under things, which wasn't really a thing in Sonic Frontiers or Shadow Generations. It's kind of a lost art of level design in Boost Sonic that we haven't really seen since original Generations. So it's nice to see that back. And I do really appreciate, like, the fact that they were able to utilize a whole-ass waterfall to tell you that a water segment is coming up, dude. Like, that, it just blows my mind that you can make an atmosphere like this completely custom. And again, another reason why it's really impressive to utilize the existing assets instead of trying to make your own or use low-res ones from older games, because you can make something that genuinely feels like an update to the game. Like, this looks like a Sega environment, dude. Like, this part here is a little bland with all the water around, but I kind of like the scale of all of it. You have these giant obelisk rocks from Chaos Island, which is one of my favorite segments of that game, and is right in here in between this giant weird valley, valley, Kingdom Valley, of stone mountains and brick walls. But if we go all the way back here, there is a lot that we missed. Shoot off this ramp. You can use Chaos Control to stop those moving spike balls. That is one of my favorite things about this level too, is the fact that there are so many moving platforms and obstacles that you can make easier if you hold on to your Chaos Control. Like, that is such an important part of Shadow Gens. I can't believe that it took this long for us to get something as basic as Time Stop as a regular mechanic in a Sonic game. It just makes too much sense. And it puts a damn smile on my face that players like me realize that too, and they're like, dude, this is kind of sick. Let's put so many things in this level that enhance the way you can replay it if you think, let's freeze time here. I like this segment a lot because this is forcing you to go vertical. Once again, don't know how a single person figured out that that actually works, But it does. I love that we're twisting and turning between all of these giant rocks here. Like, it's really making good utilization of the fact that we're in an open 3D space. This segment's a little bit, I don't like having to switch rails like that, but whatever. But for all of you that love the Doomwing, there are routes specifically just for you, buddy boyo. That's why these rings are up here. It took me a few attempts to realize that, and I wanted to curve into the Rainbow Ring, but it didn't really work out, and I ran out of boost. But by the grace of Takahashi himself, I was actually able to save myself, because your boost fills really quickly with Doomwing. Now finally up here, if you land on the side of the pillar castle thing here, there are actually item boxes for you too, which is really funny. This is a pretty basic combat segment. I don't mind it. It feels really awesome the way that you can freeze time a shadow and immediately cancel out of your chaos snap with stomping. Those segments do feel pretty good, even though there's not a lot of nuance to them. I love that we're utilizing the verticality so much between the tunnels of Chaos Island and the tall buildings of Kingdom Valley, man. Like, I think the disbursement of the two locations is really well done. Like right here, you have all the stationary assets from Kingdom Valley, but then the actual moving, floating stuff is from Chaos Island because it's that alien technology. And I mentioned it briefly, but I really love how the lighting sources are used in this level, man. And dude, like, look at this little courtyard here, just chilling up in the middle of nowhere at a dangerously high altitude. Like, I just love the utilization of all the little grassy environments. I love the way that there were fences on the edge of everything, too. Like, this little segment the eagle's carrying me through, dude. The giant waterfall. Like, what the hell? All the fences, everything looks so intentional. It looks like an art team was on this thing, man. Like, you have all these giant pillars that are diagonally shooting out. Like, it was a part of a giant support beam structure that's been forgotten about and decaying. Like, this is a much more interesting environment to look at than actual Kingdom Valley. And hey, look at that, dude. We actually get to surf on the side of the wall here. We didn't really get to utilize the Moses water in original Kingdom Valley in this game, so that's really damn sick. And that is the end of the level, but there are still more things to see, my man. Over here, they did not forget that Sonic can run on water. So here's Shadow doing the very same thing, and this is the better path in my opinion, because you go all the way over here, and you get a little bit of running on water and surfing on water. It's a damn combo made in heaven. And that'll about do it. That was nearly 20 minutes of yapping, and this is a pretty tricky level to get S rank on, but there was just so much to show. I really highly recommend that you download this for yourself. Everything's down below as per usual, and if you're new here, consider checking out my Sonic modding playlist, as this is what I usually do. But I do like to cover platforming content, both fan-made and official, so there's plenty more on the way. Comment your favorite Pikmin.